Archaeological finds indicate the existence of the breed in ancient China. Shar Pei-like dogs were featured in Han Dynasty statuettes around 200 BCE. Sharpeis have traditionally been bred by Chinese farmers in the coastal regions of the south of the country. They highly appreciated their work as hunting and gardening dogs. Later, the Shar Pei was trained in combat, but other, more powerful and aggressive breeds gradually replaced him. The lack of interest in the breed almost made it disappear, but several individuals remained among the herders from neighboring countries, Hong Kong, Taiwan. An interesting fact, the Shar Pei is primarily a village dog, raised for hunting and keeping the herd. However, his physical qualities quickly turn him into a fighting dog, which is highly valued by peasants and workers. Less in demand in battle, the Shar Pei was on the brink of extinction. When China became a communist country, a tax was introduced that made dog ownership a luxury out of the reach of the farmer. In 1947, the tax was increased and dog breeding was prohibited. In 1978, the Shar Pei entered the Guinness Book of Records as the rarest dog in the world. American and British breeders were able to import several Shar Pei to ensure breeding. Shar Pei arrived in Europe in the 1980s and made significant progress there, but that was not enough to save it from extinction. While the breed nearly disappeared in the mid-1900s, a few enthusiasts managed to avoid it, and the Shar Pei is now a fairly popular breed. Shar Pei. Description of the breed. The apparent contradictions in the Shar Pei's personality make him a very special dog. In terms of constitution, this purebred dog is also not quite common. It meets the Chinese standard: shell-shaped ears, butterfly-shaped nose, melon-sized head, grandmother's face, hippopotamus neck, horse back and dragon feet. The wrinkles on the head and back of the Shar Pei are striking. However, the characteristic wrinkles should not be reproduced artificially, as has often happened in the past. The Shar Pei was originally a working dog whose freedom of movement should not be restricted by overly thick skin. Today, excess wrinkles are usually only found in puppies whose coats seem too large for their small bodies. Only when they reach adult size do they only have a few wrinkles on their head and coat. Males reach a height of up to 51 centimeters, females are slightly smaller, with a maximum height of 48 centimeters. Depending on the size, the weight of an adult Shar Pei should be between 18 and 25 kilograms. The modern Shar Pei seems a little more massive than its ancestors. Their appearance is supported by a large head. Typical shell-shaped ears appear very small in comparison. The Shar Pei is also characterized by a rooster's tail and blue tongue, indicating its common origin with the chow chow. The physical characteristics of the Shar Pei are as follows. The coat is coarse, very short and bristly, straight, except for the limbs, and without undercoat, solid color, possibly with lighter shades on the tail and back of the thighs. With the exception of white, all coat colors are possible. The head is large in relation to the body. The skull is flat and wide. The wrinkles on the forehead and cheeks widen to form a drop. The characteristic muzzle resembles that of a hippopotamus. The ears are in the form of very small triangles, the ends of which are slightly rounded. They are thick and should not be vertical. The eyes are almond and dark, they are distinguished by a frown. The upper body line slopes slightly downward. The chest is quite wide, the bottom line goes up and to the side. The tail is thick at the base, becoming thinner as it approaches the end. It is attached high, curved, tightly twisted. Popular Shar Pei colors. Shar Pei has many possible coat colors. All colors are allowed except white. Monochrome coat ranges from dark black to pale gray, or from bright reddish brown to light sandy and creamy. Dark shades on the back, ears and tail are also possible. In any of the possible variants, the Shar Pei coat is short, hard, and bristly. The dog has no undercoat to keep it warm. As a result, Shar Pei does not tolerate cold and moisture. The American Kennel Club has recognized 16 acceptable colors for the Chinese Shar Pei. The most common ones are black, fawn and even tanned. The breed comes in shades of blue, cream, red fawn, apricot, chocolate colors. Some Shar Pei also